Hey everyone, my name is Ben Heisch, and today we are checking out some wireless audio options. So with that, we are comparing the Røde Wireless Go 2, the Deity Pocket Wireless, the Comica BoomX-D Pro, along with the Godox Movelink M2. Now these all might seem, especially at first glance, like they're really similar, but each has kind of its own use case and reason you might want to pick one up over another. So we're going to break those use cases down, compare the audio quality, the usability, and see which one is going to fit both me and my budget along with you and your budget. So for some quick disclaimers, these for the most part are the ones that I had kind of been putting in my cart and looking back and forth on, and I didn't see a lot of the use cases that I was looking for in a video. So I reached out to all these brands to see if they would be able to provide me these so I could show all of you. That being said, actually Deity didn't get back to me, and so I purchased the Deity Pocket Wireless with my own money. And on the Black Friday special, I had actually purchased the Godox Movelink M2 kit with my own money as well. But then Godox did send me this kit that I had already purchased, so I was able to obviously return one of them. Røde then sent me the Wireless Go 2 along with their Lavalier 2, and Comica sent me their BoomX-D Pro kit. None of these companies have any say over this video or the outcome or anything like that, but obviously wanted to provide the disclaimers about this. But I'm obviously going to be as objective as possible in this review, but wanted you to, I guess, know those disclosures. And since I've had all of these for a couple months now, I've used all of them on separate little projects. Some I've used together with each other, some I've used just by themselves, and so I feel like I have a pretty good baseline of what works really well and what doesn't. So here are my general thoughts. Now, the first thing I look at when I'm doing basically anything for purchasing is going to be price. At the time of this video, the Røde Wireless Go 2 comes in at $299. The Deity Pocket Wireless comes in at $169. The Comica BoomX-D Pro comes in at $269. The Godox Movelink M2 comes in at $199. And then some of the most obvious differences that you're gonna wanna know up front. The Deity Pocket Wireless does not come in a 2-transmitter kit at this time. So you are basically limited to only having a single transmitter and receiver. So if you want to do interviews or have multiple people on camera, buying this single kit, obviously you're gonna have to buy 2 of them, which is going to up the price significantly. The Deity, the Comica, and the Godox come with their own lavalier microphones, while the Røde does not. The Røde comes in at $299 and does not come with a lavalier microphone. So if you do want to purchase one of those, you are going to have to spend anywhere between like $40 to $100+ per microphone to get that into the kit, which then obviously is going to drastically increase the price of the already most expensive kit. And then the other most important thing to know is that the Røde Wireless Go 2 and the Comica BoomX-D Pro both have the option to have internal recordings. So even if you aren't using the receiver, even if you lose connection via the wireless signal, something like that, the transmitters themselves have built-in recording options and built-in memory and all that kind of stuff. So technically they can work as standalone recorders, or obviously you just have the backup on the device itself in case, again, there's some sort of glitch in the wireless transmission, which for someone like me that does a lot of wedding stuff ends up being a really valuable feature. So if you are interested in that, know that these are the options that actually provide that. Now from a usability standpoint, they're all pretty much plug and play. You basically just can turn them on and start using any of them. You don't have to have any sort of like giant knowledge of audio or anything like that. You just make sure you turn it on, make sure your camera is getting your levels to about like -12 dB, and you're kind of good to go. That being said, some of them have more options in terms of usability than others, and some are easier to use than others as well. The Røde Wireless Go 2 has a ton of options and a ton of features, and the easiest way to kind of just do all of that on the go is to purchase the optional USB-C to Lightning cable and just plug it into your phone to connect the receiver. And then you can mess with all the record options and the features and whatnot. But from just like a straight up button standpoint, it was a little bit more difficult to figure out. And even like the Røde logo being the power button and stuff, it just wasn't as intuitive as the other ones. If you were expecting to take it out of the box and know how to figure out all of the stereo and mono and features like that without looking at a manual, it might be a little bit more difficult. The Deity is really, really straightforward. There is a pair button, and that is it on the transmitter / microphone. And then there is a decibel level switch where you can just adjust, how much is coming in, a pair switch, and then just the power button for both of these. And part of that is just because it's a single transmitter, a single receiver, and so you're not worried about stereo and mono and safety tracks and all that kind of stuff. So in terms of just like grab and go, I would say the Deity was definitely the easiest. Like, it comes with a single cable, you just plug it in and rock and roll. And I would say the Comica and the Godox are pretty similar in terms of ease of use. The Comica on the transmitters just has a record button, so you can click the button and you can see directly on the transmitter, if it's recording or not, which is really, really nice. And then you can also see levels and all that kind of stuff. Where the Røde and the Deity don't have screens on the transmitters, so you're relying strictly on the receiver. But if you're using it for something else, sometimes it's nice to just have that information on there. And then the Godox is mostly the same as the Comica in those terms. Really easy layouts, really easy buttons. It obviously doesn't have a record button, so there's that. One of the nice things about the Røde in terms of the recording feature is you can just set it to anytime the transmitter turns on, it just starts recording. So that's really nice. I do find that you can't tell if it's recording or not, so you just have to trust that it is because there's no display on the transmitter, which is a little bit annoying. And then the Comica, I do like that it has a record button on the side, and then you can see on the display itself if it's recording or not. And when I was filming a family video of my grandmother teaching us how to make lefts and everything, it was really nice because I had just turned on both of these. I had left one by the sink just so I could hear general people talking and whatnot, and then I put one on her. Most of the audio that I got from that was just from the recording on the transmitter because she was just telling people how to make things and whatnot, and catching all of those little moments ended up making that video so much more powerful than only having the audio from the times where I was actually recording. So obviously that's a huge use case for that. And for my use case at weddings, I'm gonna start just popping some of these onto tables when people are getting ready, or put them next to someone when they're, practicing their vows and stuff like that. I'm gonna be able to just toss these on a bride or a groom or an officiant or whatever, and be able to get audio for the ceremony, as many people who I photograph don't end up having videographers. So I can take that audio, add it to my slideshow, and make something that is a little bit more impactful. In terms of recording as well, the Comica simply just plugs into your computer and shows up like an external drive, where the Røde, you have to use the Røde Central app, which it's nice, it's a good app, all that kind of stuff. But I wish that it just mounted, you didn't have to export things. I just like the convenience of just plugging these things in and dragging the files over. And while this isn't in my personal use case, so I didn't walk across a football field or something to test it, so this is just going to be manufacturer's claimed specs. The Røde claims 200 meters, the Comica claims 100 meters, the Deity claims 65 meters, and the Godox claims 50 meters. I definitely have no plans of going more than 50 meters with any of these, so I don't see an issue there. And then one of the things that I don't think any of these actually get right is the case that comes with them. Now, the Røde Wireless Go 2, the case that comes with it is garbage. I don't know why such a high-end product just comes with this little neoprene case. Like, all the stuff fits in there, but it like plops around and stuff. And for by far the most expensive of the group, it has the worst carrying case. It's not even a case, it's like a pouch. I think having a slightly smaller version of this neoprene case for cables, lav mics, etc. would be fantastic. But I would love to see Røde make their own case more like the Godox one. The Comica and Deity are basically the same. They have spots for the transmitter and receiver, and then they have a little pouch where you can put the extra cables and lav mic. And then the Godox has this really, really nice hard case, which is the only like hard case out of these, that is actually a charging case. And then you just stick the units in here. They have magnets. It's a really satisfying thing. And then it gives you the option of just a single cable and then a light on the outside that tells you when it's charged or not. This is by far by far the best option in terms of charging. But then the problem is you don't have the room for other things, so you have to either buy some sort of other case. I personally think that the Godox is the winner in that department simply because of the case and the charging capabilities. Because if you think about it, for the other ones, you have to have 3 separate cables for the Røde, you have to have 2 separate cables for the Deity, and then the Comica comes with a single cable that splits into 3, which is also useful, but still not as convenient as just being able to plug directly into this case and just have it ready to go. So you just grab it and rock and roll. The Røde also claims to have the largest battery life at 7 hours. The Godox claims 6 hours. The Deity claims 5 hours, and the Comica claims 4.5. So if you're doing really long takes or anything like that, it's just something else to consider. And then one of the reasons, obviously, to buy one of these over the others is going to be the included Lav Mics. The Røde obviously doesn't come with a Lav Mic, so it's kind of a good thing or a bad thing, depending, because you have the option of buying whatever Lav Mic you want with the system if you do want one. The Deity has a locking input, which is really nice, and a long cable, but not a cable that's overly long. In terms of Lav Mics, I think the Deity is the best in terms of size and just overall look and feel and all that kind of stuff. The windscreen for it, though, is absolute garbage. I really don't like it. I wish they included a slightly higher quality thing with this. The Comica has a huge microphone and a huge mic clip. It's definitely not my favorite in these terms. I like to have something that's a little bit more subtle. The Comica is enormous, but the windscreen on it at least is nice. And then the Godox has a large microphone, but the clip is at least a little bit smaller. It also has a nicer windscreen than the Deity, which is very similar to the Comica, so bonus there. So in addition to the testing in a controlled environment, I'm going to show you how all of these work just in practice, from very controlled situations to very uncontrolled situations. All of them perform very, very well, and so you can see them sort of in real world use instead of just, one after the other in kind of a boring studio environment, which is still helpful, but I think this can kind of give you a better idea of how it works in the real world as well.
Navnet mitt Gerd Åshild Isaksen. Jeg var født på Bø på Andøya I Nordland. Jeg var født den 25. juli 1939.
Navnet mitt Arvid Olaf Isaksen. Jeg var født på Bø, på vestsiden av Andøya, april 18, 1935.
Finding a good way to document the behind the scenes kind of stuff without being forced to use a giant setup like this with a tripod and all that kind of stuff.
We call it lemon lefse only because it has lemon in it, lemon juice in it. The recipe is 1 can of evaporated milk, 3 tablespoons lemon juice, ½ cup sugar, 1 cup melted shortening, Crisco, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon soda. Blend those all together with a Vesp.
But I just got back from a wedding that some of you might have seen me talking about and whatnot in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It was both incredibly beautiful and incredibly cold. And I'm also working on putting together the ceremony video that I recorded, and so we can see the whole ceremony and all the photos that I took during the ceremony as well, just so you can get an idea of, what photos I was taking during what points.
As you place this ring on Tiffany's finger, repeat these words after me. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
As a symbol of my vow.
As a symbol of my vow.
And with all that I am.
And with all that I am.
And all that I have.
And all that I have.
I bind my life to yours.
I bind my life to yours. Your little fingers.
Come on.
Okay, there's one.
And then instead of me going over my just general opinion on the sound, I want you to be able to listen on your own and just kind of hear what you prefer. I'll go over each with their built-in microphone on the transmitter, as well as each with their included Lavalier microphone for the ones that do. I'll also include a take with the Røde Lavalier 2, which is a slightly different lav microphone, but it'll give you a baseline of what these sound like with the same microphone across the board in case you wanted to go with a microphone like that. And then my son actually knocked on the door of my office, and so I'm gonna do a little kind of like side-by-side interview type thing with him so you can see what they sound like together as well. This is the built-in microphone on the transmitter of the Deity Pocket Wireless. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro with the built-in transmitter and the cable that is labeled for Sony, but I'm getting very little output, so I'm gonna try the other cable out. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro with its built-in microphone on the transmitter, and I'm using the cable that is labeled for Canon and Nikon, even though I'm filming this on the Sony a7 IV. This is the Røde Wireless Go 2 with the built-in microphone on the transmitter. This is the Godox Movelink M2 on the built-in transmitter. This is the included lavalier microphone for the Deity Pocket Wireless. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro and the built-in lavalier microphone. All right, this is the Godox Movelink M2 with the included lavalier microphone. This is the Deity Pocket Wireless with the Røde Lavalier 2. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro with the Røde Lavalier 2. And this is the Røde Wireless Go 2 with the Røde Lavalier 2. This is the Godox Movelink M2 with the Røde Lavalier 2. And this is the Deity Pocket Wireless with the Godox handheld thing on a boom arm in case you wanted to do this. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro built-in microphone on the transmitter on the Godox handheld thing. This is the Røde Wireless Go 2's built-in microphone on this Godox handheld microphone thing. This is the Godox Movelink M2 transmitter on the optional handheld microphone accessory. This is the Deity Pocket Wireless with the built-in microphone on the transmitter. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro with its built-in microphone. All right, this is the Røde Wireless Go 2 with the built-in microphone on the transmitter. All right, this is the Godox Movelink M2 with its built-in microphone on the transmitter. And this is the Deity Pocket Wireless with included lavalier microphone. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro with its included lavalier microphone. This is the Godox Movelink M2 with the included lavalier microphone. And this is the Deity Pocket Wireless with the Røde Lavalier 2. And this is the BoomX-D Pro with the Røde Lavalier 2. And this is the Røde Wireless Go 2 with the Lavalier 2. And this is the Godox Movelink M2 with the Røde Lavalier 2.
Half with my friend. Ooh, I can't half with help from my friend. Ooh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Can we just stop singing and start doing the video?
Yes.
This is the Godox M-Link 2.
Sure, close enough. And I am using the Røde Lavalier 2.
I'm using the included Lavalier microphone.
Sure, Lockamere. That works. Okay, what right now is your favorite Beatles song?
Sgt. Pepper's.
This is the Godox Movelink M2 with the built-in microphone on the transmitter.
This is the built-in microphone on the transmitter. Hi, I am Oslo Heisch from the channel 1 Billion Trillion News.
So let's pretend this is an interview setup. And if you were anybody in Star Wars, who would you be?
Luke.
Luke. Why would you want to be Luke?
Because I think he's a great Jedi.
He's a great Jedi. Who would you want to be trained by if you were going to become a Jedi?
You know, Yoda.
Yeah. Yoda's the GOAT. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro. I have the Røde Lavalier 2, and Oslo has the included microphone that comes with it, the Lavalier. What is 4 plus 8 plus 3?
4 plus 8 plus 3. 4 plus 8 is 12 plus 3 equals 15.
High five. And this is the Comica BoomX-D Pro, just with the built-in microphone. And let's see, let's do another math problem. What's 4 plus 12?
4 plus 12 equals 16. 4 plus 12.
All right, this is Benj Heisch from channel 1 Billion Zillion Trillion News. And today we have renowned weatherman Oslo Heisch here to tell us all about the weather outside. What's the weather like, Oslo?
The weather is cloudy right now.
Is there a chance of anything?
No.
Is the weather outside frightful?
It's windy out there.
Yeah. It's a little bit windy out there. You heard it here first, folks. This is the Comica BoomX-D Pro thing on the Godox handheld microphone. All right, and this is the Røde Wireless Go 2 with the built-in microphones on the transmitters. And Oslo, what is 7 minus 4?
7 minus 4 is 3.
Wow, that's quick. You're not supposed to know that fast. Okay, what is the fastest ship in the galaxy?
Millennium Falcon.
All right, now I'm using the Røde Lavalier 2. Oslo is just using the built-in microphone on the transmitter. If you could have any ship from Star Wars to be your real ship in real life and you could actually fly it somewhere, which ship would you choose and why?
I would choose Luke's X-Wing.
Luke's X-Wing, why?
Because he blew up the Jet Star.
Did blow up the Jet Star.
Hi, I am Oslo, live from Tatooine.
We are live outside of the Sarlacc pit where an unfortunate incident has just happened and occurred. Oslo, can you tell us what you saw?
I saw Jabba the Hutt.
You saw Jabba the Hutt, the infamous crime lord?
Yeah. Yes.
What was he doing?
He was flying his sail barge.
Now, you said that you saw someone fall into the Sarlacc pit. Can you tell us more about that? Maybe who it was or what they looked like?
He's green and his name is Boba Fett.
He's green, his name's Boba Fett. The infamous bounty hunter?
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks. Boba Fett, the infamous bounty hunter, had fallen into the Sarlacc pit as witnessed by Oslo here and Jabba the Hutt. Now, actually, why were you there with Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt? Breaking news, Oslo Heisch might be a bounty hunter. We'll have to figure it out. This is the Deity Pocket Wireless.
This is Deity Pocket with an included lavalier microphone.
Sure. Now, one of the things that I thought about trying just to see if I could get 2 microphones into the Deity Pocket Wireless was this little splitter from Hosa. I think I saw it on Caleb Pike's channel or something like that. So now we just switched the inputs, and I think that now it's on my microphone. So this cable in particular doesn't seem like it works, but I guess I could be wrong. All right, and this is the Deity Pocket Wireless with the built-in microphone on the transmitter. And since there is only one, this is actually a decent option if you want something to be able to use for 2 people. Coming to you live. Where should we be? You choose.
Alderaan.
Coming to you live from Alderaan. As you can see here, there is nothing. Can you tell us why did Alderaan move or what's going on?
The Jet Star blew it up.
The Jet Star blew it up. You heard it here first, folks. The Jet Star blew it up. All right, and this is the Deity Pocket Wireless with its included microphone on the transmitter. So Oslo, what is 7 minus 4 plus 1 minus 2?
The answer is 2.
The answer is 2. High five. So now that we've heard all of the options, here are my general recommendations. If you're on an absolute budget and need to record 2 people, obviously the Godox gets you everything that you need for multiple people with Lav Mics for under $200, which is great. If you are a single creator that wants a great Lav mic included for under $200, the Deity is a really good option. I feel like I liked the Lav mic the best. And while in these tests in particular, I had a couple issues with the Deity's sound, it has sounded really good for me in the past. And before I got all the rest of this stuff and had purchased this on my own, I was totally fine with the sound and actually preferred it right out of the bat to a lot of the other ones. And if you want the recording features but don't want to spend, $500 or so on the Røde, the Comica gets you a lot of really, really great options. I don't prefer a lot of the even build quality and stuff of the Comica, but for the price point, it gives you the most features out of any of these for less money even than the Røde does without the lavalier microphones. And then like a lot of people going into this, I kind of just considered the Røde Wireless Go 2 to be sort of the gold standard that I was going to compare all of these directly to. While I think the audio actually needs a little bit of tweaking, I do enjoy the sound that comes out of this, and I find it easy to manipulate and add a little bit of low end too, but you're definitely going to have to purchase additional lav mics if that's something you are interested in. And yeah, if you have more of a budget, you can definitely look into the Røde Wireless Go 2. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about any of these, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'm definitely not an audio expert, but I think that these are more towards that kind of prosumer type of person that is more like me anyway, that knows some things about audio, wants good audio, but doesn't necessarily need the highest end stuff. So if there are things I didn't cover and you have a question, please leave them in the comments below. I will try to get to all of them. You can subscribe down here if you haven't already. You can support me on Patreon here, and then you can jump into one of these playlists and see more of my thoughts about camera gear.